Get some instant analysis. Welcome to CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. MVP finalists Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren combined for 59 points. Thunder crushed the Pelicans in Game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead. OKC shot 59%, forced 18 turnovers, and that's what a one seed should do, Bill, dominate.
Utter domination. Can I throw in they made almost half of their three-point shots. They played the better perimeter defense, and that's something that the Pelicans made their hay with this year. Pelicans were extraordinary, just hassling guys at the three-point line and making it difficult for other teams to generate offense. Yeah, this Thunder team was incredible. Those of us, double thumbs at myself, who thought New Orleans could make a series of it, looked to be very wrong. I know we've still got some more games, and it goes to New Orleans, and you got to win on the road and all that, but you said it, Akeem. This Thunder team does everything. They don't have one superstar. They have two, not just SGA. Chet Holmgren was amazing. 20 points in the first half just to set the stage. There's all that depth you talked about. And even though they're small, they're a little undersized, they move the basketball so well on offense, and they play such great team defense, especially when they're switching, and they're so athletic. This is a legitimate contender, and the Pelicans look very overmatched without Zion.
A 32-point victory for Oklahoma City. Meantime, the one seed in the East just flat out got beat. I asked you before this series started if Miami would even win a game, and you said that Erik Spoelstra would find a way to win at least one. Well, the Heat knocked down a franchise playoff record, 23 three-pointers, Bill. If you're Boston, is this just a tip of the cap and move on to Game 3, or was a weakness exposed by the Heat?
It's the perfect question. If you're Boston, it's a great question, because you should just tip the cap and say, all right, you're going to take a franchise record number of three-point shots. You're going to make well more than half of them. We still were in the game late on, and you didn't crumble. Way to go, Miami Heat. But it actually might expose a weakness, Akeem. We just won't know until Game 3. Because the issue with the Celtics is not their talent, it's not their defense, it's not their offense, it's not their depth. They are the best team on paper, not just this year, but they are literally, statistically, the best team on paper in a generation. Literally the third best point differential since Jordan's Bulls, two of those teams. Third best of all time. Only Jordan's Bulls are better. But there is a legitimate question about whether they can finish late in games. And we talked about that earlier on HQ. If you get into late game situations and really tight games, 5 minutes or less, three-point games or closer, this is a Celtics team who suddenly the metrics become 22nd net rating, not particularly impressive, basically the Atlanta Hawks or the Toronto Raptors. This wasn't a close game in that respect. The Heat won, but to your point, if the Celtics can't just shake it off and say sometimes teams are going to rain buckets and we're going to lose, if they do get rattled, if that lets the Heat and that coaching advantage Spoelstra has make things tight, make the game close, and rattles that Celtics team, we may see a weakness, because their only weakness for the Boston Celtics is what they can do to themselves. If they play their game, nobody beats them, at least in the East. But the Heat have now knocked them off kilter a little bit, maybe off balance. How Boston responds is everything in this series.
Maybe they just need punched in the mouth. They're the heavyweight. They're the favorites to win the whole thing. Maybe they just need punched in the mouth by Miami. This is no Jimmy Butler. This is a series that went 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So it's almost like if you thought this was going to be a sweep, you probably didn't really do enough research, or you probably didn't really know the matchup that well. We joked about it being a sweep because it was minus 110 for a sweep.
Right.
The series was minus 8,000 when it opened up. We knew that it was going to be heavily favored towards Boston. But we also got to consider the team, and you consider Erik Spoelstra, who's one of the best strategists in the NBA.
Yep. And in this game, his strategy, to that point, punching this team in the mouth, was to make the Celtics shoot fewer threes, give them the paint. They averaged 42.5, the most in the NBA over the course of the season, just took 31. The Heat stole their game plan, took that many threes. It was an incredible performance, and you're right. Here's where it's good for Boston. I just don't know. We don't know what they are under pressure because they were so good. There was no duress this year. And even when they were under pressure, it didn't really matter if they were going to lose most of those games because they had such a lead with that number 1 seed. But like a title fight, Akeem, like you just said, you're going to get punched if you want to be the champion. And better that it happens in the second game of a long bout than it happens when everything's on the line. It gives them time to respond psychologically. Give Brad Botkin credit earlier on HQ. He said it's a psychological series now. I think that's right. And if the Boston Celtics can win that psychological series, the basketball will take care of itself, because they should be. You got to win, but they should be that good.
Series now even at 1 game apiece. It moves to Miami for games 3 and 4 on Saturday and Monday. And here's a look at the updated odds to win the NBA title. Celtics still the favorites at plus 115, followed by the reigning NBA champs, Denver, plus 250, and Oklahoma City right there. Don't count out Oklahoma City. Look, you can get them at 12-1 right now. That might be a little sprinkle there Bill, because they might be inexperienced, but sometimes it doesn't matter. They don't know the situation, and maybe they just run the table.
I'm a sucker for long shots. I never bet the team that's the favorite. I bet the hard ways and craps. That tells you everything you need to know about my gambling strategy. But I agree. If you think that the Thunder's youth and lack of size is going to prevent them from winning, don't bet on them. But we just talked about this. What they showed in that win tonight suggests, and SGA is really the tip of the spear here, the catalyst for this, that they're going to overcome that. And if you think Boston is susceptible, and probably not in this series, but down the road, from what we saw tonight, it's somebody other than Boston, and Oklahoma City's a nice price.
Give me the Knicks at 14-1 for some value right there. I like how the Knicks are playing basketball
like
right
that edge.
now. Yeah. Go New York, go. 3-game threes on Thursday. First game of the night in Orlando, where the Cavs are up 2-0 on the Magic. It's the matchup they wanted. Knicks stole game 2 from the 76ers to go up 2 games to none. The defending NBA champs also stealing game 2 of their series against the Lakers. Jamal Murray hit the buzzer beater to cap a 20-point comeback. On Wednesday, Joel Embiid sounding off, believes Philadelphia will come all the way back.
We're good. We're going to win this series. We're going to win this. We know what we got to fix. We did a better job today, so we're going to fix it. But we're the better team, and we're going to keep fighting.
Back here with Bill Ryder, Joel Embiid says, we're going to win this series. How?
I don't hate it. Everybody else is crushing this guy. What do you want Joel Embiid to say? Guys, you're right. We totally screwed up. They
what do you
beat
want
us.
from me?
Those 28-second season's over. I'm out. My body hurts. I'm done. Here's how they do it. Do not be broken by that dispiriting, and it was crushing loss in game 2 and that ridiculous 28 seconds of marvelous play from the New York Knicks and brutal play from both the officials. That's true. And the Sixers. Embiid's got to be out there. Maxi's got to still be Maxi. But when Joel Embiid plays on the floor, this is a team by every metric. I won't bore you with all of them. But when he has played this year, before that injury, they were in a class with the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating.
He just got fouled, by the way, 3 times there.
Oh, yeah. There should
My
be
gosh.
4 just based on principle. Look, that's the another answer to your question.
Do you really believe they can win this series? You do.
I actually was looking at the odds a little bit ago, and I was thinking maybe. All right, so it doesn't happen often, but the Milwaukee Bucks 3 years ago got down 2-0 in the second round against Kevin Durant and that Nets team, and everybody said we knew Milwaukee couldn't do it. They're Milwaukee. Giannis doesn't have enough. This Durant and all these guys are so good. You know what? The Bucks had confetti falling for them short time later. So I don't think they will. I think they can. I think Philly and the Knicks are absolutely evenly matched. I think the winner of this series is going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and has a chance to beat. It's probably Boston, whoever's there. It's sort of unfair they're playing each other. It's because of Embiid's injury. Do I think that the Sixers will win? No. They're down 2-0. Do I think they can win? I do. You win game 3, you turn the momentum around, you erase that game 2 heartbreak. We've seen momentum become an ally before it could again.
All right. To me, that series, I mean, it's going to be.
You look skeptical.
I just don't see it because you saw game 2. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Show me what you know. And Tyrese Maxey even said, "Look, we're not making excuses. We had a chance." But that was putrid the way the game that was officiated down the stretch.
Terrible.
It should be 1-1. But now that it's not 1-1, it feels like it. To me, it's like it's over at this point.
There's 2 things. Brunson he's played fine. He hasn't shot particularly well. And so there's 2 schools of thought, and we're going to find out. One is, this is more likely, he'll regress to the mean. He'll play better. The pressure's off, and he'll get a game in Philly. Series is probably over. But there's also a world where they've just figured something out on Brunson. The length of the defenders that are on him is a problem for Brunson. He's amazing. That's a real thing. And we know that role players play much better at home. They just shoot better at home. There hasn't been a lot of help for Embiid and Maxey. Big criticism that people have had. That's normal. Their stars have played great. So if some of those role players, what do we call Tobias Harris, a disappointment? Whatever he is, some of those guys get buckets back in Philly. I don't know. I think momentum.
But what about Jalen Brunson going back to Philly? Played at Villanova. Dante DiVincenzo. They play right. That's their backyard.
Well, the problem is Dante DiVincenzo doesn't understand he's supposed to be a role player. He's playing like a star player every night, so he'll probably be fine. These games have been close. I think that it's not the other series we've talked about. It's not Lakers versus Nuggets. Sixers are not dead.
Okay, fair. I'll buy it.
All right.
Let's talk about Lakers Nuggets right now. Jamal Murray hit the buzzer beater to cap a 20-point comeback. Absolute bonkers. LeBron wasn't happy with the officiating. This felt, though, you and I talk after this game 1, and we thought this is probably going to be a sweep because of the way that game ended. Every time the Lakers got close, Denver absorbed it and then absolutely capitalized. They would execute down the stretch. Where are your feelings right now? Can LeBron somehow get this team back into this series down 0-2?
I've learned a few cardinal rules of covering the NBA in the many years I've done it, and one is don't doubt LeBron James, and I'm going to break it.
He was down.
Yeah,
3-1.
That was where I learned that lesson.
But that was also a younger
it's
and
over.
had a little bit different supporting cast.
I'm going to break my own rule, Akeem. It's over. It's done.
Right.
I mean, that was not only did the Nuggets come back, and they were down, 19-20 at some point. They're down 15 at the half. There was never a doubt. I didn't doubt. I think everybody but maybe the Lakers knew the Lakers aren't good enough. That crushed their spirit. You have Anthony Davis today complaining basically about Darvin Ham as head coach and what's going on from a tactical perspective. They're a hot mess. They're overmatched. And to beat a team like Denver, which is hard to do if you're the Lakers, there's a talent gap. You have to win the games where you're up 15 at half and you have a chance late in the game. You let those go, it's over. Their spirit is probably broken. Probably a sweep. Series is certainly over.
Okay, there you go. It's over. It's over for LeBron. Year 21.
All done.
All right, Bill. Thank you. You're all done for now. Just for now. You're not done for because you got stuff to do. For all things NBA, join Bill Ryder, John Gonzalez, Ashley Nicole Moss on Beyond the Arc, breaking down all the big storylines in the playoffs. It's Beyond the Arc. Download and follow today.